It's time for our next innovator from Home and Abroad. Please welcome the Vice President of Product Development, Ray Agostinelli, and the CIO, James Barnett.
Thank you very much. I'm Ray, this is James, and Foglight is the industry's first on-demand platform enabling small to medium businesses to create their own travel website with rich destination content and powerful trip planning tools very quickly, very easily, and for free. I want to give you a little bit of background here first before we get into Foglight proper. At Home and Abroad, we've been building trip planning tools with rich content for over 2 years now. This is our consumer-facing site at homeandabroad.com, and I'm just going to go through this very quickly. It's kind of the tip of a rather large iceberg. I just want to give you the sense for the types of tools we've been developing. We've got different ways for travelers to plan trips, including dream trips, which are prepackaged itineraries. We've got personal shopper tools for travelers to buy products from Amazon. We've got finder tools, where travelers can plan their trips geographically. And we've got some social networking tools where travelers can share their trips with other travelers, rate and rank experiences, and so forth. The site's been very well regarded. It was ranked top 25 travel website by Travel + Leisure magazine last year. And it's also been adopted by major brands. We've private labeled the site for the likes of Hawaiian Airlines. You see their trip planner homepage here. It's our tools and our content within the framework of Hawaiian's branding. The inventory is customized for Hawaiian. The booking functions are obviously customized for Hawaiian as well. Hawaiian uses the tool, amongst other ways, to send out email campaigns to their client lists. They'll craft personal, custom itineraries, 5 perfect days in Maui, for example, send out emails, draw people back to the site, extend their brand, give their users a good travel experience with the tools, and ultimately improve bookings on their airline. That's the goal here. We've done the same for Starwood Caribbean, the same for AirTran, and that list goes on. But what we want to talk to you about today is a question that occurred to us, which is that if these tools are as valuable to the major brands as they appear to be, they should be as valuable to the minor brands and the little guys. We're talking about the boutique hotels, the B&Bs, the tour operators, the travel agents, and so forth, the long tail of travel. But there are barriers to entry for the long tail companies to get into this level. There's budget constraints, there's technical constraints, they don't have access to IT staff, there's time constraints. So what we decided to do is to build a system that reduced those barriers to entry as far down to zero as we can possibly get. And that's what Foglight is. It's a system that aspires to bring the long tail of travel truly into the world of Web 2.0 content and functionality. We want to get them up off the bench and get them in the game. So let's take a look. This is Foglight. We're going to go through a 5-step wizard process as soon as James finds the right site. At the end of which, we will have a complete website created, a la our private label sites, complete with content and functionality. We're going to take as our example today a small boutique hotel in Boulder, which is our hometown, called the Bradley Inn. The proprietor of the Bradley is a woman named Heather, and I'm going to ask James here to play the role of Heather today. Say hello, Heather.
Hello, Heather.
Very good. Quite literal, like an engineer is expected to be. First screen is not too sexy. We're specifying, amongst other things, the URL that the site's going to reside at. But let's move on to the second step. Skip all the optional fields. Here, Heather gets to determine what content she wants to appear on her site. Since she's a single location hotel, she's just going to put in Boulder, Colorado. But if she were a business with a national or international scope, she could select all of the content here. Now, it's worth noting what Heather doesn't have to do when she's inheriting all of this content for this site. She's not needing to pay licensing fees to some vendor for destination-specific content. She's not needing to figure out how to integrate an RSS feed into her site, figure out how to work with an XML load, and so forth. Check the box, the content is yours. Let's move on. Next step is to customize the appearance of the site. She has some options as far as the layout goes. We have some options as far as the theming goes, color scheme. Okay, the goal here is to make the site that she's building emulate as closely as possible her corporate home site, so users will have a seamless experience when they link over to this site. Any of the colors can be overridden, but let's go ahead and just reset for theme defaults in the interest of time and move on to the next step where we get to personalize the site a little bit. Heather has some options as far as the home page goes. She can upload one from her hard drive. She can go into a photo library that Foglight provides for her. Okay, in addition to all the textual descriptive content, we have thousands of photographs that we've secured licensing rights to that we make available to partners creating sites. So she's going to go ahead and choose one that she likes. Very nice. Move on and put a logo on the site. She can style a text logo or upload an image. She happens to have one on her hard drive, if James can find it. Sorry, Heather can find it. Very nice. And she's also got some options here for messaging on the site, for linking, and so forth. So a lot is customizable within the platform here. Let's go ahead and skip those for now and move on to the next step, which is where Heather has an opportunity to customize the inventory and the booking functionality available within the site in some very innovative ways. Here she can link back to a booking page on her home site if she has one. Let's say that she does, and she can select from a library of graphics that, again, we provide for her, styled nicely. We'll put in the website URL of her booking page. Now she gets to elect whether to include on her site an Expedia booking engine. We've integrated multiple booking engines into the platform. Expedia is the default that we use here. And what happens is when she does choose to put Expedia on the site, any guest that she has directed to this site who does book travel through that engine, say a flight to Boulder, will earn for Heather 1/2 of the commission revenue associated with that transaction. Okay? The next step, in a similar way, she can include or not hotels within her site with a revenue share opportunity. Now, since she's a hotelier herself, she probably doesn't want competitors listed. So with one check, she'll make sure that no other hotels appear on the site. And finally, she has a chance here to include commercial tours on the site via Viator and other vendors. And again, the same rules apply. Anything booked through the site by her guests earns for her 50% of the commission revenue. Again, it's notable what Heather didn't have to do here. What she didn't have to do is independently set up herself affiliate relationships with all of these independent organizations. Foglight handles that for her. We maintain a master affiliate relationship, and all Heather has to do is check the box that says, go ahead and list those things. So apart from being free, it's actually a revenue earner for her, potentially, if she chooses to exploit those features and functions. Very good. That went by very quickly. I know because there's a clock staring me in the face, and it only took about 3 minutes to build a site. Heather might have taken 5, the real Heather, but this is pretty nice. A nice site that she built from scratch. We've got our logo, we've got some reservation link backs, we've got all of the content and functionality available on our consumer site and our private label sites, now available to a boutique hotel in Boulder, Colorado. Expedia engine, and so forth. Since we have a little time, let's go ahead and dive down a little bit, scratch under the surface to give you a taste for what this functionality is. Because it's not just building a home page. It's building a site with hundreds and in some cases thousands of pages of descriptive destination content. We went into the Dream Trips section right here. We see listed here a set of Dream Trips prepackaged itinerary, some of which were created by Home and Abroad city experts, some of which are created by users who have elected to share their trips with other people. Okay, we'll go ahead and choose one to show you the itinerary page here, and scroll down a little bit to give you the sense for what's now been prepackaged together. And worth noting, Heather can go in, just like Hawaiian Airlines did, and create her own prepackaged itinerary, her own 3 beautiful days in Boulder that she does what Hawaiian did, and send out email campaigns to her potential guests, drawing them to her trip planning site, ultimately flowing down into future bookings. Scroll down, the itinerary itemizes the different events and attractions for the day, the ability to notate on a day-by-day basis what's good about that day. Again, Heather can be customizing all of this stuff when she makes her own itinerary. The system makes recommendations for restaurants based on proximity and quality, recommendations for free activities, which were recreational and educational activities authored by Home and Abroad, some helpful links, and some personal shopper recommendations. Go ahead and scroll up to the top, James, and as the final kicker, we'll just go ahead and pop up the nice free trip guide that's provided here, again, branded with the boutique hotel's logo, Bradley Inn, pulling together all of the information within that itinerary, the descriptive information, the mapping information, and so forth, anything the traveler needs to know. So this is something available over the web or even in lobby as a virtual concierge. Okay? There's a lot more here that we Will not have time in the next 40 seconds to go through, but I wanted to give you a flavor for everything that Heather was able to achieve for herself in a very short amount of time and without having to know any technical details. Just to wrap up here, I'd like to note that Travel Channel Media is announcing today the launch of a platform called Flight Deck, which is an ad-serving and content sharing network. And I'm proud to announce here that we have been included within that platform as a value-added service to both advertisers and to publishers. So we're very privileged to be included within that very innovative and exciting initiative. That's all the time I have. I thank you very much for your time and certainly invite you over to the table next door to show you more if you're interested.
Ladies and gentlemen, home and abroad.